All right, let's talk about the incredible philosophy of Alibaba founder Jack Ma. His whole approach kind of flips everything we think we know about success right on its head. He teaches us that failure isn't something to avoid, it's actually the starting line. So how on earth did a lifetime of rejection end up building a global empire?
I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. We spend our whole lives being taught to avoid failure at all costs. But for Jack Ma, it was the secret ingredient. His journey didn't start with a string of wins. It started with an absolute mountain of rejection.
So before he was a billionaire, before he was a household name, Jack Ma was basically a professional at getting turned down. And this isn't just some fun fact about his past. No, this is the very foundation of everything he would go on to build.
10. Just let that number sink in. 10 times he applied to Harvard, and 10 times they told him no. Most of us would be crushed after maybe 1 or 2 rejections, but for him it was just this constant pattern of the world slamming the door right in his face.
And you can just hear the pain in his own words, right? This wasn't some generic, formal rejection letter. It felt personal. He felt completely unseen, totally unwanted. But, and this is the most important part, it's what he did with that feeling that changed everything.
And this mountain of rejection was so much bigger than just Harvard. Look at this. He failed his university entrance exams 3 times. When he finally landed a job as a teacher, he was making, get this, $10 a month. Everyone around him told him he wasn't smart and that his ideas were just plain crazy. This does not sound like the origin story of a future billionaire. It sounds like a life just drowning in the word no. So, you have to be asking, how does that guy go on to build one of the biggest companies on the planet? Well, it all started with a huge shift in his mindset. He stopped seeing problems and instead started seeing something else entirely. And this right here, this is his secret sauce. This is the magic formula. For Jack Ma, a complaint isn't just annoying noise. No way. It's a signal. It's a giant flashing neon sign pointing directly at a problem that's just begging for a solution. You see, he believes there are basically 2 kinds of people. You've got most people who just sit around and complain about what's wrong with the world, but then you have the optimists, the entrepreneurs. They hear those exact same complaints and their brains immediately kick into gear, thinking, okay, how do we fix that? It's the same situation, but a totally different response.
The big insight here is that opportunity isn't some rare, mythical treasure you have to go searching for. It's hiding right there in plain sight, disguised as all the little things that frustrate us every single day. If you can be the one to solve that complaint, boom, you've just found your business. Okay, so you've listened to the complaints, you've found an opportunity. What's next? Well, for Mani, the next step isn't about business plans or finding investors. It's all about one simple, powerful thing: belief. And this is a pretty radical idea when you think about it. He's saying that in the beginning, it literally does not matter what anybody else thinks. Remember, these are the same people who called his ideas crazy. If he'd waited around for their approval, Alibaba would simply not exist. The only validation that truly matters at the start comes from you.
So here's his formula. First, you have to believe in the dream with every fiber of your being. Second, you find a small team, your people, who believe in it just as much as you do. And third, you just work. You work day and night to turn that shared belief into a reality. It's that simple and that unbelievably hard.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. It's the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. It's about turning that powerful belief into actual concrete action. We can all relate to this, can't we? You know, it's late at night and you have that spark, that brilliant idea, and you feel like you've figured it all out. But then the alarm clock goes off, reality sets in, and that incredible idea gets pushed aside while you head back to your day job. This is the final step. An idea without action is just a daydream. Ma's point is that all the belief, all the opportunity spotting in the world, it's all completely worthless if you don't take that first, terrifying step and actually do something about it. So now, the challenge is for you. What about all those late-night ideas you've had? What's a complaint you hear all the time that you know you could solve? And what's one small action you can take, not next month, not next week, but tomorrow?
And we'll end with this really profound thought from him. For Jack Ma, entrepreneurship isn't a selfish act at all. It's an act of service. The goal isn't just to work for yourself. It's to work for others by solving their problems. Because as his entire life proves, when you help other people succeed, when you solve their complaints, you ultimately find success for yourself.